Let's talk about something just horrible going on. 6 shootings reported in the last 10 hours alone across our greater Houston area. Only 1 person has been arrested so far. Take a look at this map. 3 people are dead. 4 teenagers have been injured. Those 4 teens were injured in 2 separate shootings.
3 of them were injured in an incident in the Denver Harbor neighborhood, one on Gillette Street. Our Shelby Rose is live. She continues to follow this violent night of events live in the medical center this morning. Shelby?
Yeah, and in both of these shootings involving teenagers, Houston police say they have no idea who is responsible. The latest of the 2 happened around 1:30 in the morning. Houston police say that they found 3 teenagers shot. Youngest one, just 14 years old. All were taken to the hospital and in stable condition, but that's about all the information received by HPD. In that case, they don't know what happened. Then about just 30 minutes before that, Houston police tell us they got the call around 1 in the morning of a drive-by shooting. A 17-year-old driving with 3 others were around the 1500 block of Gillette when we're told at some point a person on the sidewalk walked up to the car and started shooting, hitting that 17-year-old driver and 1 other person. The car sped away before crashing into a house. You can see the wreckage in the video we have from the scene, and the shooter took off. We don't know a motive at all or if the people involved know each other, but there isn't anyone in custody, nor do investigators know who they're looking for.
We do not have information on the suspect at this time. There is one of the passengers is still here, and police are speaking with that person to gather as much information as possible.
But of course, if you do know any information on either one of these shootings, you are asked to call HPD or Crime Stoppers. That number is 713-222-TIPS. And as always, you can remain anonymous. Reporting live outside Texas Children's, Shelby Rose, Fox 26 News.
The parents of a teenage boy who's accused of killing a 14-year-old girl in Baytown are now facing charges in the case for allowing the young suspect to access a gun. So we want to hear from you. Should parents be charged if their child gets access to a gun and uses it to kill someone? You can scan the QR code on your screen right there on the bottom right. Fox 26's Abigail Dye spoke to the victim's family in Baytown, and they say these charges are just not enough.
Right here next to this playground at the Village of Baytown Apartments is where a father watched his little girl take her last breath.
Next thing you know, I heard 2 shots. My child was right there on the ground. I'm right here on the ground, man. And around me every day, man. I cry. Sometimes I just want to walk away, just go sit down somewhere and just clear my head.
Everybody was, well, where was her parents? Her father was right there.
Court documents say that in March, a 14-year-old boy came here with a gun, then shot and killed 14-year-old Anaya Zachary. He was charged with murder, and now his parents are facing charges of their own.
Making a firearm accessible to a child.
Documents show Cassie and Kenneth Coney are both facing charges accused of leaving the revolver used in the killing unsecure in their bedroom.
Since there was serious bodily injury in this case, it has been enhanced from a Class C misdemeanor to a Class A misdemeanor, which is punishable by up to a year in jail.
The law's got to change or something. Something got to change, man.
Yes, it has to change.
Man,
a life was taken.
Is there any possibility the charges on the parents are upgraded to have anything to do with a homicidal kind of charge? Here
in Texas, I don't believe that the kids' parents would be subject to any more liability than the Class A misdemeanor.
Anaya's family says that simply isn't enough.
This could have been dealt with a whole nother way. Now you could still be here if someone, had been on his side. Preferably his parents. And when you don't take that second to find out what's going on with your child and they go out and do something like this, then you should be held responsible.
To learn more about this specific charge and the laws around it, you can check this story out on Fox Local and on fox26houston.com. For Fox 26 News, I'm Abigail Dye.
First at 5, new surveillance video capturing 2 suspects making their escape after a possible home invasion in a quiet neighborhood in Southwest Houston.
That crime turned deadly. Fox 26's Jillian Hartman has a closer look at the footage and the search for answers.
Well, Houston police say a man was shot and killed inside his garage here along Lunnington Drive. Here's a close-up look of what appears to be a bullet hole on the garage door. Now, we just got our hands on surveillance video from a neighbor. Take a look at 9:56 last night. This footage shows a truck pulling up near the garage. Then seconds later, the garage door opens halfway. Two men run out, and one man appears to be holding a weapon. Then the truck takes off. This all happened within a minute. A neighbor tells me he heard the gunfire.
I heard about 6 or 7 gunshots around 9:30, 10 o'clock up in that area. And I just raised my head about, Lord have mercy.
This is video from the scene. Police say they found the man who was shot inside his home and he died from his injuries. Investigators tell us the shooting may have stemmed from a robbery or home invasion. This afternoon, we saw the victim's family hugging and crying, devastated over what happened. Some neighbors say this is normally a quiet street and are shocked and want answers.
I've been here my whole life and nothing like this has happened before.
Really concerned. For me, I'm going to stay protected by the Lord. Because I don't do nobody no harm.
Right now, homicide detectives are investigating this shooting and looking for the suspects. Anyone with information, call Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS. Reporting in Southwest Houston, I'm Jillian Hartman for Fox 26 News.
Only on Fox here tonight, a major development in a case of a young mother shot and killed during her child's birthday party.
Murder charges against the man first accused in Jalen Whitlock's death are expected to be dropped. Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle is live at the Harris County Courthouse with what's next in this case. Sherman.
Yeah, good evening, Anthony Rashid. The DA's office says that there are going to be some big changes coming in this case involving 25-year-old Jalen Whitlock, who was shot and killed back in September. Let's give a quick timeline to catch everyone up on this. So September 12th of last year, the 25-year-old was shot and killed at her child's birthday party on Loxley Road after the child's father, Jalen Foreman, got into an argument with the mother while dropping off gifts at the home. This all happened in front of the children, and Jalen Whitlock was pregnant at the time of the shooting. September 17th, Foreman turns himself in to Harris County authorities. He's charged with Whitlock's murder, and he gets a $1 million bond. But this week, Fox 26 confirmed that the murder charges against Foreman are expected to be dismissed, and the victim's boyfriend, who was also at the party at the time, Devin Weber, is expected to be in court soon, set to face charges related to this case. The grandmother says she was told by prosecutors that the shot that killed Jalen Whitlock came from Weber's weapon, not Foreman's, but she believes Foreman is still the reason why her granddaughter's gone.
Had he followed the request and the directive of taking the birthday gifts to his mother's house and not coming to my granddaughter's house, I believe that my granddaughter would still be alive. Devin shot back. We guess, or clearly he shot, right? It doesn't change the fact that my granddaughter is dead.
So how do you deal with it?
We do a lot of praying. We do a lot of crying, and it's been that way since September. But with this new thing, we are all in a, it is difficult.
Really tragic. Those children are 6 and 4 years old. So Devin Weber was already in Fort Bend County custody on unrelated charges. He's expected to be in court pretty soon. We're expected to hear more details on this case soon.
A grieving great-grandmother is demanding answers tonight, almost a year after her 3-month-old great-granddaughter was found dead in a Harris County motel room.
Now, the death was ruled a homicide by suffocation, yet no one has been charged. The great-grandmother sat down with Fox 26's Jillian Hartman and shared her heartbreaking plea for justice.
How hard has this been for you and your family?
It's been real difficult.
Luann Simon broke down in tears when talking about her 3-month-old great-granddaughter, Brooklyn. She was found dead inside a motel room, allegedly inside a closed dresser drawer. This is video of the scene at the Days Inn near Mission Bend in May 2024. Simon says she has been fighting for justice ever since. So you're not giving up, you're pushing for answers and accountability. Have you lost faith in the system since no charges have been filed yet?
Yes, ma'am. I feel like the Harris county sheriff's department has either messed this case up, or they're failing to do their job, or something definitely is wrong, because it's not like they're looking for a suspect. They know who was in that room. They found drugs in that room.
Simon says the baby's mother and father were living there with Brooklyn and her 1-year-old brother.
I know both of them were at fault because that baby depended on both parents, not just one. And they both failed her.
Over the phone, both the mother and father claim they are innocent and blame each other. The father says he was at the store, came back to find Brooklyn in the closed drawer. The mother says she was asleep and assumed Brooklyn was with her father. We reached out to the Harris County Sheriff's Department. They said in part this is an ongoing investigation and has not been presented to the district attorney's office. The release of any details pertaining to this case may hinder the investigation.
So you think this has gone on too long? You want the case to move forward. What does justice look like for you?
Justice for me is somebody taking accountability for this baby's death. Justice for me is arrests being made.
While this case remains open here at the Sheriff's Department, Simon tells me that Child Protective Services has been involved and that Brooklyn's older brother is being cared for by his great aunt. Reporting live tonight in downtown Houston, I'm Jillian Hartman for Fox 26 News.
A road rage incident in Montgomery County could have turned deadly if it wasn't for the quick response of law enforcement.
Now, the moment was all caught on camera when officials disarmed the suspect and de-escalated this whole entire situation. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia with that story.
Montgomery County Sheriff Wesley Doolittle is being touted as a hero after he de-escalated a road rage incident that could have claimed many lives. Take a look at video captured by a witness on the scene along FM 1488. You can see two men in the video. One is on the ground and the other standing over him. Then you can see Sheriff Doolittle. He's in the white shirt. It appears he told one of the men to drop his weapon and get on the ground. That man has been identified as 55-year-old Vernon Gradier. He was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Authorities say Gradier exited his vehicle, initiated the physical confrontation, and then produced a firearm to threaten the other driver. Lieutenant Scott Spencer says Doolittle is a leader who leads from the front, saying in part, quote, his actions during this incident are a reminder of his deep commitment to public safety and his understanding of the real-world risks our deputies face every day. No injuries were reported during this incident. Reporting in Montgomery County, Jonathan Mejia, Fox 26 News.
Well, a man is now in custody after League City police say that he broke into a woman's apartment while she was asleep.
An absolute nightmare. Fox 26's Abigail Dye is live at the League City Police Department and spoke to the victim about the situation. Abigail.
Imagine waking up to a naked man in your apartment touching you. It is a nightmare for any woman, and that's exactly what this victim says happened to her. Now, League City police say they arrested Juan Hernandez for burglary with intent of sexual offense. They say that this incident happened on April 15th at the CP Waterfront Apartments in League City, and then Hernandez was arrested during a traffic stop 10 days later on April 25th.
I got woken up a little after 12 by something touching my leg, and I rolled over and looked, and I saw a man crawling on my floor, and he stood up and he was completely naked. And then he walked over to me and tried to get on top of me and get in my bed. He hurried up and pulled up his boxers and ran out of my apartment.
So he jumped off the balcony?
Yeah, he jumped off the balcony or went over the balcony. Whenever officers responded, they began searching the area for him. She said that he was a Hispanic male.
You don't expect anybody to try to get into your second story, apartment.
They actually had video of the male going over the balcony rail of the victim.
And I understand that you had seen this man before. Can you explain that?
He's my downstairs neighbor.
This happened April 15th. He wasn't arrested until the 25th. So there were 10 days there that I'm sure you were just completely on edge.
Oh, yeah. It just got to the point that I couldn't live there anymore. So I did have to move. I love the apartment complex, but it's just something that traumatic happening and you don't feel safe in your own place.
What we want our citizens and everyone who's watching this to know is just how we can't become complacent in living in what we feel is always a safe community, or remain vigilant in that, and always being ready to protect yourself.
It's okay to fight back. It really is. Like, you don't have to let it happen.
Really just a nightmare of a story. I'm glad that the victim wasn't physically harmed during all of this. Now, police say that Hernandez is currently on an ICE immigration hold, and they are urging anyone who recognizes him and think they may be a victim to come forward and contact League City Police. Reporting live, Abigail Dye, Fox 26 News.
We are, however, going to begin with breaking news this noon hour out of Southeast Houston. Sources say an attempted robbery at a donut shop has turned deadly. Jonathan Mejia live on scene there with the latest. Jonathan.
That's right, Delon. I'm here on Winkler and Howard Drive. This is the intersection when that shooting all took place, right behind me here at the Snowflake Donuts. Now, Houston police confirmed that a person was shot and killed at this donut shop here. I was able to speak with the owner of this shop here, and she tells me that they have been in this place for 25 years, and safety and security has always been a concern for them. So this morning, they had this robber targeting one of their employees at the register. The employee was shaken up. She was nervous about the contact that she had with that robber, and that's when the owner's husband shot and killed this robber. As you can see, it is closed right now. You have some patrons are coming in trying to go into the business, but it's clearly closed right now. The owner tells me that it's a scary situation for everyone involved. Now, we are hoping to get more sound, more surveillance video when they become available. You can stick with us both on air and online at fox26houston.com for the latest in this incident. Reporting here, Jonathan Mejia, Fox 26 News.
Okay, more details to come out of that one, Jonathan. Thanks.
A jury, has made their decision in the case involving the death of a well-known Houston pastor.
Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia was in the courtroom earlier today and joins us live with the update. Jonathan.
That's right. The jury found Deshawn Longmire guilty of first-degree murder in the killing of Ronald Mouton. He's a well-known pastor here in Houston. Investigators say the evidence led them to believe that this was a road rage incident. Nearly 3 years have passed since the tragic shooting of Pastor Ronald Mouton. Investigators say Longmire shot and killed Mouton back in June 2022 on a feeder road off Gulf Freeway in Southeast Houston. Signs indicated that it was a case of road rage.
It's a moral victory to us, but it doesn't take the sadness away. The loss is just too significant to us to just be overjoyed. But it does give us a sense of relief to know that the guy that killed my brother will now pay for what he did.
Court documents revealed that Longmire, an Uber driver, was out on bond and did not obey his curfew conditions. Closing arguments were heard Thursday, with prosecutors saying Longmire's claim as an Uber driver was a lie in an attempt to create an alibi. Meanwhile, Longmire's defense attorney argued a jury should determine whether the case has reasonable doubt.
I first just want to apologize. And I know I know there's nothing I could do to change the situation. And if I could, I would. I made a mistake, and I hurt a lot of people.
The trial lasted for 3 days, and in less than 3 hours, the jury came out with the guilty verdict. So the Mouton family will have to wait another day as the punishment phase continues. Court will begin tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll bring you the latest updates both on air and online at fox26houston.com. For now, reporting live in the courthouse, Jonathan Mejia, Fox 26 News.
Lindell Price, the former owner of the Turkey Leg Hut, pled not guilty after being indicted on 3 federal charges in the case of the fire set the bar 50-15 in June of 2020. It was a long hearing here today with Fox 26's reporter Leslie Delaspore was at the courtroom. Leslie, what can you tell us?
Yeah, court was about 2 hours long, and we heard lots of evidence, but also strong arguments from both sides. But also lots of information came out of that courtroom today. Now, federal prosecutors called an FBI agent to the stand. That agent claims co-defendant John Price told investigators that Lindell orchestrated in setting bar 50-15 on fire, stole cars, and even knew that marijuana was being sold on Turkey Leg Hut property using Turkey Leg Hut branding and packaging. John Price later admitted to setting the fire when he was was arrested on a separate charge in 2023. Now, during the cross-examination, the defense argued that Lindell is a good member in the community and said John Price's confession only came about because he was facing felony drug charges.
The evidence that they have put on is based on a person, an individual that is under federal indictment for trafficking one of the most dangerous drugs in America, which is fentanyl. So again, the court has provided him with a bond. There are no allegations against my client whatsoever as it related to any type of drug trafficking as it relates to that co-defendant. A lot of things were brought up that, we necessarily didn't agree with, and we addressed those things during the course of the hearing.
Now, the judge said that she had a lot to chew on before she could make a decision. Anthony.
Leslie, really quickly here. So, like you mentioned, lots of stuff happened in court today, but when we came to cross-examination from the defense, what did we learn? What were they saying in defense of him?
Yeah, there was something that really stood out to a lot of people in the courtroom. So during the cross-examination, the FBI agent pointed out that Lindell Price was actually not seen in the surveillance video of bar 5015 being set on fire. And that was one of the first points in the argument from the defense towards the end of the hearing.
This is not a rush for judgment. We're not going to, litigate this case in the media. We're looking for the court's ruling. We're looking forward to the court's ruling, and we're looking forward to clearing Mr. Lindell Price's name.
Reporting from downtown Houston, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
A Houston neurologist has been arrested for online solicitation of a minor after being investigated by the Precinct 1 Constable's office for more than a year and a half.
Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle joining us live from the newsroom to talk about it. Sherman, so these details I know are very disturbing.
It's very disturbing just 24 hours after I had done a story involving a minor being hurt in Galveston County in a related fashion, just with a large platform. But here's what we know about Dr. Jason Robert Tawnoff. He was arrested this morning at his home earlier. We had some video from the Precinct 1 Constable's office. So court records show that this started in 2023. It included constant conversations between Tawnoff and what he believed to be a 15-year-old girl. But it was a deputy with their internet crimes unit. Constable Alan Rosen says this doctor is well known in the community, even involved in important ALS research. And he had a message for anyone who chooses to engage in illegal online talks with children.
You could be talking to an undercover officer on the other line. So that should be the message to them, is go get help. It's very clear this person, once he gets through with the criminal justice system, should be seeking help because he's got a problem.
So Dr. Tawnoff could be facing up to 10 years in prison on this, and the penalties could be harsher pending the discoveries in the investigation. But Constable Alan Rosen says that his unit will continue to investigate these crimes, and he's urging anyone, any parents or guardians of young people, to make sure you have conversations with young people and to make sure you monitor any type of activity they may have online. If anyone believes they've been in contact with this same physician, contact his office. Reporting from the newsroom, Sherman DeSalle, Fox 26 News.